Newly released text messages between FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page suggests that they knew in advance that Hillary Clinton would not face any charges over classified information found on a private email server. The text also suggests former FBI Director Jim Comey and former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch also knew that in advance as well, that Hillary would not be charged. Even before the FBI interviewed Hillary Clinton, this was all going on. James Comey also exonerated Clinton on July 5th of 2016. Now, one text exchange dated July 1st, 2016, referenced then Attorney General Lynch. That text came within days of Loretta Lynch meeting with former President Bill Clinton aboard her plane on the tarmac in Phoenix. This text reads, quote, Strzok, timing looks like hell. Page, yeah, that is awful timing. It's a real profile in courage since Loretta Lynch knew no charges would be brought against Hillary Clinton. Right now, Peter Strzok was removed from Robert Mueller's team probing the Trump administration over earlier text messages showing anti-Trump bias. Let's bring in from the American Center for Law and Justice, Jordan Sekulow. I mean, it sounds like, good to see you, Jordan. It sounds like they knew 4 days ahead of Comey's announcement that she wouldn't be charged, right? Yeah. I mean, I thought James Comey, Judge Knapp brought this up. James Comey testified he had to publicly exonerate Hillary Clinton because of those conflicts in that tarmac meeting. But now it turns out he knew she wouldn't be charged. What's going on?
Yeah, and he even went so far, Liz, under oath, Jim Comey testified that until Hillary Clinton was interviewed, he had not made up his mind about what charges would be brought or what statement would actually be made. Now, we now know that he was circulating drafts months before of this exoneration statement, but that's serious. I mean, it goes to, again, the Inspector General's report and possible other investigations of Jim Comey's conduct that we've discussed here many times. But what we're starting to see is how the DOJ and FBI were working on this together in concert. And so I think that statement from a top aide who had, again, remember, Peter Strzok was the top FBI official on the MYE, as they called it, the mid-year exam. That's the Hillary Clinton investigation, but they don't like that word investigation. Loretta Lynch didn't like that. That's how high up he was in the FBI, that he was the top agent on that. He then gets pulled to the Mueller team, and he's going back and forth with another FBI attorney saying that, yeah, I mean, we know no charges are going to be brought here. And that doesn't just mean Hillary Clinton. That means no charges against anyone, the people who set up the server, the people who lost the information, and they changed the text. These are the people who made sure the text was changed so that President Obama's name was not in the statement about who Hillary Clinton was emailing from foreign hostile territory on her private email, which we now know included the President of the United States.
You know, Jordan, we're getting breaking news just coming in from Fox News that there are 50,000 text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page that the congressional committees and the DOJ Inspector General is looking over. You know, Strzok and Page also discuss in text messages they're shocked that Trump would look like he was going to win the GOP presidential nomination. Yep. Here's a conversation from May 4th, 2016. And holy blank, Ted Cruz just dropped out of the race. It's going to be a Clinton-Trump race. Unbelievable. And Strzok responds, what? You heard it right, my friend, said Page. I saw Trump won, figured it would be a bit. Now the pressure really starts to finish that mid-year examination of Hillary Clinton, meaning that Clinton email probe. It sure does, Lisa Page responded. And earlier in February 2016, Page texted Strzok that candidate Trump simply cannot be president. Your reaction there?
Yeah, I mean, the idea, again, this shows the misconduct and the bad decision-making, obviously, of the special counsel's team in bringing these individuals on. They were ultimately, Lisa Page was there temporarily with special counsel Bob Mueller, but it took months. I mean, we have to remember, we haven't even gotten to the missing portion of these emails, but it took months for Bob Mueller to remove Peter Strzok from his team. That was after he interviewed people. He was reportedly, as the news has reported, was the head agent on the Manafort investigation that led to criminal charges, and with Michael Flynn, interviewed Flynn because he was obviously very involved in the Russia investigation pre-special counsel Mueller. So he interviewed Flynn very early on, and that all involves this time period where we know Lisa Page and Peter Strzok love talking about all the issues of the day that they were involved in. They were involved in all of the main issues. Yeah. And yet we have now got months where we don't get to see their very important potential messages on a whole host of the key issues.
Yeah, stay on that, because we want to get to what was going on, the events of that time frame that you just referenced, that, you know, Republicans are now demanding answers as to why the FBI somehow lost 5 months worth of texts between Strzok and Page between December 14th, 2016 to May 17th, 2017. That's what Jordan Sekulow is just talking about. That day in May was the day Robert Mueller was appointed special counsel. those texts were on their FBI work phone. So how did the FBI lose those texts? Again, the two agents were working on both the Hillary Clinton probe and the probe into the Trump campaign. Now let's go through the number of critical events that occurred between December 2016 and May. It includes Trump firing James Comey. The Russia probe intensified. Michael Flynn's interview with the FBI was basically also being conducted by Strzok. That was going on. Comey's assurances to Trump that Trump was not under investigation. I mean, Trump firing Comey, those text messages could have been revealing a lot about that, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The dossier was leaked by BuzzFeed during this time period. So, I mean, literally, the most key events into what has supposedly led to the special counsel, so the firing of Jim Comey, the release of the dossier and that information, the first interview of Flynn, which was done by one of these individuals, so we would have gained insight because he loved talking, Peter Strzok, to Lisa Page. What did he think of Michael Flynn? We won't know that if it's really true, and it's hard to believe that our Federal Bureau of Investigation can't figure out how to get these messages.
And just, we do have the breaking
and they're being pressed by Senator Johnson.
Right, we do have breaking news. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is now saying he will review this matter of the missing 5 months worth of text. Jordan, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on, sir.